All right, guys, just give me a second here. This is my second live stream, so bear with me here, okay? Okay, I apologize, guys. I'm gonna get this going. This is just I'm doing this new, so okay. All right, hey guys, this is Empire Universe, and we're back. We're back with UFC Fight Island 8 card. It's Chiesa versus Magny. So today I'm going to be joined by the MMA Island. You might know him off of Instagram. I've been following him for a while. He's been covering a lot of things with UFC, and I'm very excited to have him on. And I'm going to have him on in a second, and then we're both going to cover the whole card. I hope you guys enjoy it. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think, and we're going to get this started. So I'm going to have him on here, and let's get him on here.
Hey, Luke, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate your time.
Hey, no problem. Let me just get the volume up here. Alrighty, now I can hear you better. So how are you, Chris? Like before we get into the card here, I just want to kind of get to know what got you started on doing all that coverage for the UFC and MMA.
So I think it's beginning like in March.
Mhm.
COVID happens. A lot of fighters were doing interviews at home because they didn't have anything to do. So,
Mhm.
I saw Ariel Helwani have like a home studio set up. He got a lot of interviews with fighters. I was like, you know what? I can do the same thing. And then, with fighters not having anything to do in their homes, a lot of them said yes for an interview. So that's what started it. Alex Hernandez, Macy Chasson, a lot of great fighters. I started out with, and then kind of became a hobby and became a part of the brand.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think like a lot of people kind of got into that kind of train, especially last year with the whole Fight Island hype. So that's kind of like what you kind of like. Did you have a different name before, or did you turn it into Fight Island? Like,
Yeah, so MMA Island was actually I came up with the name in summer of 2018, so like 2 years before Fire Island. So like a lot
okay.
of people think that like, oh, they're just ripping off Fire Island, but yeah,
Hmm.
we got there first around like 2 years before Fire Island.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that is a bit like the feeling I think people would get. And I think like, I think for a second when I saw your name on there, when I discovered and I started following you, I'm thinking, how the fuck does he have like this many followers? And like, cause the impression I got was like, you just started this thing like last year in like the middle of last year. So I'm like, there's no way. And then I realized that you've been having it for a couple of years. So good props to you, man. Um, yeah, like you got quite the following going on there, so that's good. Yeah, so I guess we'll now that we kind of got to know each other, Chris, we'll start off with the card. I'll kind of start off with the first fight, and then we can talk about it. You can give your thoughts, and I'll give my thoughts, and we'll get this going, man.
Sounds good, Luke.
Okay, so first fight, like I said, I'm going right to the bottom here. So I think this might be on the very early prelims. So it's I think they're both newcomers. It's Victoria Leonardo and Manon Fiorot. I'll always get her name wrong. What's your thoughts on this women's flyweight bout?
It's a very great fight. Looking at their records, they're very active. I believe the French Furiat or Magnon, I believe she has 3 wins in 4 months. So like she's a very active flyweight. I believe they're flyweights. Victoria,
Yeah,
she
yeah, but
I
yeah,
got you,
excuse me, flyweights. Yeah.
gotcha. And then Victoria Leonardo, she looked good, very good on the Contender Series. And
Hmm.
she fought quite a bit, in the last 2 years, and she's fought some good names. One name in particular, she's only lost to Miranda Maverick, who's in the UFC, and to another girl. So they're both very solid fighters. I believe this should be a good fight, and this one's kind of a hard to pick because they're both two solid newcomers. Leonardo definitely has an edge in the experience, so I might have to go Leonardo on this one.
Yeah, and I'm trying to stay as unbiased as I can with this fight because I had Menon on my podcast. Every time I keep saying her name, I know I'm probably doing it wrong, but no, with her, I'm trying not to say biased here, but I have to go with Menon. I mean, the power that she's got, and I think. I mean, I get what you're saying with Victoria, but I think with her, she's got that power, and I think like as a flyweight, that's probably what we need in the flyweights right now. We need someone that kind of stands out, and I mean, she's very possible. I'm kind of surprised they didn't put this. They put this fight right at the bottom. I know that she's a newcomer, but you would think that maybe they put her up there with maybe like the prelims, like the later prelims, but I guess not. So I'm gonna have to go with Minon for that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very excited for that fight.
Mm-hmm. I mean, every card this week has been good. Or excuse me, the card on Saturday was really good. This card seems really solid, and obviously the one on Saturday, no surprise, that's gonna be good as well. I was actually kind of excited before we go up. I was actually kind of excited because I read it wrong. I was about to say featherweight, and I'm like, oh shit, so we're gonna get some fights in featherweight. Here we go. And I remember, no, she's flyweight. So, yeah. So just kind of moving on here. So we got in the bantamweight bout, Umar Nurmagomedov, can't talk today. Nurmagomedov versus Sergey Morozov. I'm not sure if the guy's related to Khabib or not, but
I believe so. I think he's his cousin. I believe.
Really?
Yeah, because I think Khabib's going to be in his corner for this fight.
Maybe that's why he's been on Fight Island, because I know, I think he posted something about how he was meeting with Dana White, so I thought he was just there for Dana White, but...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see if there's any like altercations on Fight Island between Conor and Khabib. So like that's very risky, where it's like they're on the same island, in the same. I believe they might be in the same hotel. I'm not sure about that, but it's gonna be interesting week for sure.
Absolutely. I'm gonna stop you there for a second. So Speakeasy Sports, obviously I know you've done a couple of collabs with him. He just asked us, or he asked, I guess both of us, he's like, are you ordering the stream or are you streaming it? I'm not going to say anything on video, but definitely, I don't know if I would pay. I don't know if anybody really wants to pay $60 anymore.
I believe they raised it to 70 for this one.
What? Oh
yeah.
My God, that's insane.
I think I'm gonna buy it personally, just because of Conor, and Dustin. That's a fight I'm really excited for. Main card is okay. The co-main event is good, so I'm probably just gonna buy the stream off ESPN.
Yeah, it's really hard to buy cards these days because every time I buy a card, it always turns out to be so disappointing. So, but anyway, sorry. So going back to the card here, I didn't see the comments because I've been looking at the matchups here on my screen. Yeah, so with this fight, I honestly don't know either guy, but I probably have to go with Khabib's cousin because just because it's another Nurmagomedov. So I mean, they've been known to be quite high class wrestlers. So I think I'm gonna have to go with his cousin for sure. Now going up to lightweight, this is also another fight I'm looking forward to because I had Mason Jones on my podcast a couple months ago. He actually predicted he was going to get into the UFC. He said, "Oh, no doubt, I'm going to get in the UFC," and now here he is. So I was actually talking to a guy, Jack Rand, about it earlier. It was almost like kind of like a Mystic Mac moment. He said like, "Oh, I'm going to be in the UFC," and then within like 2 weeks, it was insane. Within 2 weeks, he got signed. So I was really excited for him. But anyway, so we're at lightweight bout: Mike Davis versus Mason Jones. Who do you got in this fight?
Mason Jones looks promising. Is he from Cage Warriors by any chance?
Yeah, so he got the belt at lightweight and welterweight. So,
Wow. Yeah, not everybody could do that. And Cage Warriors is a legit promotion for
mhm,
rising prospects. I've seen his name before, and looking at his record, that's 7 finishes out of 10 wins, so 70% finish rate.
mhm,
And he's got some good names on here. Adam Proctor, I know him, and
yeah.
like his to finish that amount of guys, like it's not perfect finish rate, but just TKO, TKO, TKO. Like I I don't know too much about Mike Davis to be honest, but Mason Jones looks like a killer, and I'll probably have to go to Dragon on this one.
Yeah, no, and I agree. I think I'm gonna have to go with the dragon on this one as well. He really does look promising. Um, I know that sometimes you get, you're really successful in another organization, you're kicking ass, and you get them in the UFC, and it's just a totally different ball game. But I don't see it with Mason. And again, I'm not going to be biased on this because he was a guest, but no, like literally, I see a lot of promise in the young guy. Like he's quite young. I think he's only a year or two older than I am. Maybe actually we might be the same age. And I think that yeah, he's definitely got a lot of promise. I think he's definitely he's heading in the right direction. I mean, of course, you learn it's like stepping stones. You're gonna get tougher fights, but I think he's in good hands in this fight. I got him probably first round or second round TKO for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Now with the next one, Francisco Figueiredo and Jerome Rivera for the flyweight belt for men's flyweight. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought it was Davison Figueiredo for a second. I'm like, the fuck?
What's he doing on the
So
prelims?
yeah, exactly. I'm like, dude, the dude just fought like twice in like a month and a half. Insanity. Um,
Mhm.
I don't really know much about this fight either. I'm going to be honest with you. So I'm going to leave this one for you.
So looking at Francisco Figueiredo, I truly believe like with that connection, having the flyweight champion as your sibling, like that's why he got into the UFC. I believe his last fight is coming off a draw as well, so it's like why would you be called to the UFC after like a draw, especially? But
Mm-hmm.
looking at his wins, there's nobody I recognize, and I'm not like trying to downgrade his wins because I'm sure he has some great wins over names I just don't know. But Jerome Rivera's, he got knocked out in the Tyson Nam fight. Nam has some good knockout power, so obviously nothing wrong with that. Uh, I think the UFC is banking on Figueroa to win this one, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe the matchmakers set this one up stylistically for Figueroa to win. So sometimes the matchmakers, things don't go their way, but I believe Francisco will win this fight.
Yeah, and I didn't even know that was the guy's brother. And I think like it's kind of a dirty thing that the UFC does, and I am kind of throwing them under the bus here. Um, I think it is kind of a thing that they do once in a while. Like I know they really push for the Shevchenko sisters to be in the same organization, kind of
Yeah.
like how they had the Diaz. Now the Diaz brothers out. I think that was just kind of a coincidence.
Hmm.
They just kind of had it was like a package deal. Um, yeah, but I think definitely, I think Figueroa's got it from what you've kind of told me. Like I said, I don't really know much, but I think he'll probably have this fight for sure.
Hmm.
Um,
Agreed.
and going through, so we got
That,
Delcha.
yeah, that's a hard name to pronounce.
Oh, you're looking at this too, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got a middleweight belt, Dalcha Lungambula. I know his last name on Instagram is Champion. I was actually supposed to get him on my podcast,
Oh yeah.
and then he's fighting the Joker guy. That's what everyone calls him, the Joker guy, Marcus Perez. I don't know. I mean, I think Champion's got this one.
Oh yeah, for
Um,
sure.
I love what Marcus does. The whole Joker stuff he does at the weigh-ins. But I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like he's had a rough go. And the other guy, I mean, he looks strong. He looks a little bit more power-wise. Um, I think Delcha's probably got this first round TKO or possibly submission. I'm not. I'm holding out on that.
Yeah. The thing about Marcus Perez is like I love his Joker getup. A lot of people are annoyed about his personality, but like truthfully, like I love a good Joker makeup. But you know, with his fights, he just doesn't he doesn't commit. Like he's kind of like a I don't know what to say. I feel like he's maybe overhyped because of the Joker getup, but like I just don't think he's that great of a fighter. When you get knocked down by Eric Anders like twice in a fight, and then let me look at his record. Just
Yeah.
every fight I've watched of his, he always gets the loss. So yeah, he got knocked down his last fight. Decision lost. Andrew Sanchez, Eric Anders. I just like he doesn't show much promise to me, in my opinion. He's got some good jiu-jitsu for sure.
Mhm.
He has a weird karate-based style, but his chin is very questionable, and I
Yeah. Yeah.
don't think he hangs with maybe like a three. Maybe I think this one might go to decision because sometimes Marcus Perez like he has a slouchy chin. Like he makes it. He could make it the full 3 rounds, but not without getting hurt. So I definitely think Marcus Perez is going to lose this one.
I do too. No, I mean it could go 3 rounds. I can't decide how Delcha is going to win what round, but I think if he doesn't knock him out, yeah, it's going to be a unanimous decision for Delcha. I just think that he's got a lot of the power, and again, Perez is known to be chinny, so I think this one's going to go to Delcha, our champion.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
so you got the next one, the flyweights. Sue, I swear to God, I'm cursed with this card. Like every name is hard to pronounce.
I
Um,
know, right? Yeah, like when I was studying, I was like, okay, I wonder how we're gonna pronounce all these names because this is reading out like a like a textbook or like something. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, fuck, all these fighters are gonna come after us like, hey, you said my name wrong, bitch. And it's like, sorry. But anyway, seriously though, so we got the flyweight belt, another flyweight belt bout. You got Sue Maduji and Zaraka Davashev. Two guys haven't really seen. I don't really know what to say. I'm just gonna be fun. I'm gonna have fun with this one. Just pick someone random. I think it's gonna be the favorite in this fight. Your thoughts?
Oh, with Sue, like he's got 11 finishes. I believe he's only won by decision maybe like once or twice. But the dude's a knockout artist. But I think he's a little bit one-dimensional. Uh,
Yeah,
you know, with his ground game, it hasn't looked good. All 4 of his losses are by submission, I believe. So for this one, he's got to keep it on the feet. But I believe his knockout power is something else. It might go decision, but I truthfully believe that Sue will get the knockout. If you look at Adeshev, 3 wins, 2 losses. Sometimes like with the UFC, it's like not to discredit these guys. I love watching these guys fight, but when you get to the UFC, when you get to the UFC at 5 fights, and especially at a record of, I believe his UFC debut was his last fight, so he was 2-2, I think. So like to be in the UFC at 2-2, it's just I don't know, it's just kind of surprising to me. I'm not trying to take away from him, but to have that record and be at the UFC level already, that's pretty crazy. So and
yeah,
his chin is very questionable. Tyson Nam, also a familiar name that we covered, but yeah, I think that Sue wins this one pretty fairly.
yeah. And if he doesn't, I mean, if the other guy's smart, he's gonna know where he's losing. So, I mean, it'll be an interesting fight to see. That's kind of a fight that it's kind of like, the other guy's, he's losing on the ground, so that's kind of indication that's probably where you need to go. But so
Yeah.
the other guy's probably gonna really want to win this fight for sure. Um, and so the next fight is going to be Ricky Simon and Gitano Perello at bantamweight. I think there's no surprise. I think Ricky Simon's got this one. I think that fight that he had with the Sacramento kid. I think that's
Oh,
geez,
you're my favorite, right?
Faber. Yeah, I think that really tuned him up good, and that was kind of a fight that was kind of like a wake up fight, and kind of
Mhm.
helped mature him a little bit. And I think with this fight, it'll definitely I think he's now taking his time getting into the rankings, and I think that's good for him. He's building up confidence again. And I think he's definitely going to get this fight. I think I could kind of see like a second round submission. Uh, I don't know. I mean, that's my thoughts. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so with the Uriah Faber, I was actually picking Simone to finish Faber, but Faber
A
did
lot of
the
people
exact
were, yeah.
opposite. And getting finished by Faber, like when he's like 40 years old, it's not very good to have on your record, but it's a legend regardless. Rob Font, another loss, but Rob Font is one of the best in the world right now. His fight against Ray Borg, it was very impressive to me. He put on a clinic. I don't even know what split decision because I feel like he won that pretty easily. And then submitting Murad Devalishvili, that's obviously one of the bigger names on his record. And
Mhm.
submit an animal like Murad, I didn't agree with the stoppage, but I think he put him out after the fight was over. But I definitely think Ricky's got this one. He's been training for Brian Kelleher. Boom was unfortunately out of this fight, so the other guy's gonna have short notice. It's gonna be. I feel like the other guy has a lot more to gain than Ricky does because Ricky's just fighting a UFC debutee. So I think the other guy's gonna be a lot more hungrier. But I think Simone's experience and time in the UFC will really help him in this one.
Yeah, and I agree. I know sometimes you're kind of in a situation where, yeah, I mean, you got more to gain than lose. But at the same time, that's not always the case with a lot of fighters. I mean, like if you look at Miranda Maverick, she fought what's her name in her debut? Juja. I'm
Oh,
trying
Leanna Jojo, right?
Yeah, like I wasn't sure about the fight. I mean, like she looked good in the other promotions, but I was like, I don't know, Juju. I mean, her ground game's really good, and then Maverick went in. And I was like, shit, okay. Like this girl, I mean, she doesn't just bang on the ground. She can stand up too. So yeah, I was really impressed with her. So it's interesting to see when people come into the UFC and see what they can bring in. But yeah, I think Ricky Simone definitely his experience being in the UFC is definitely going to help him out there. So yeah, I think still second round submission for sure. So now we're in the next. I think this is I believe the. Excuse me, I came. I just went for runs. I'm a little out of it. The prelims. I think this is like the feature prelim.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Wolverine, Amari Akhmedov, and Tom Breeze. Finally, a name I can say. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, this fight is a good fight too. It's definitely opportunity for Tom Breeze to definitely take that, get into that top 15. Definitely steal that number 13 spot. Um, I mean, definitely Omari's got more of the experience for sure. I can't remember the last fight that he's had, but definitely just looking on experience, he's got way more there. Um, but I mean, I don't know. It's they can both fight on the ground here. I mean, Tom Breeze, he's got 50% more submissions versus Amari, who's got only 26%. But definitely Tom Breeze has got more of the finishing factor. So what? And I mean, it's only a 3 round fight. So I'm actually maybe going for Tom Breeze in this fight. He's got more of the killer instinct in 3 rounds. Oh shit! Did I lose him? Okay, I think I lost him. I think I lost MMA. Oh, okay, sorry guys. I'm gonna add MMA Island back in here. Let me just add him back in here. Sorry, guys. I lost my guest here. His internet went out. I was just in the middle of a prediction here, and then his internet went out. I was wondering, like, I can't. I'm waiting for him to. I'm waiting for him to respond. I'm like, what does he think? And then it all went out. But anyway, so I'll just talk here for now until he comes back in. Anyway, I'll talk until he comes back in. So yeah, I definitely think that Tom Breeze actually will break into this fight, and he'll definitely take this fight, and he'll probably finish Amari. Definitely. I mean, he's got even more of a knockdown average. I mean, that kind of reflects on, and then his knockdown average and his average fight time definitely reflects on his record with the TKOs and submissions. See if I got.
Hey man, sorry, I think my internet went out for a second.
Oh, no worries. Actually, your camera looks a lot better too. So
awesome, cool.
Cool. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I was just kind of talking about the fight with. I don't know how much you heard me with Amari and Tom Breeze, but I was just talking about how like Tom Breeze has got more like the TKO and submission record here, and the fact that like with his average fight time and the knockdown average, he's got more of an advantage in that department.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that like that kind of reflects on his record. I mean, of course, Amari's got more of the experience, but when it comes to, I mean, your skill, sometimes experience is not always enough. And just seeing this being like a 3-round fight, I think definitely Tom Breeze can break in and get that that finish in 3 rounds. I mean, because you're not fighting 5 rounds, so
yeah,
yeah.
I think yeah. So I think with this fight, I think it's gonna be maybe a wrestling clinic from Omari Akhmedov. When you fight against guys like I believe he went to a draw with Vittori, a very close fight in which he was really close to winning. So going to almost beating a guy like who is now a top contender like Vittori, that says a lot about his game. His wrestling is pretty good. Tom Breeze is, I feel like this one's a striker versus grappler matchup. Tom Breeze has some pretty good knockouts on his record, but I don't think his takedown defense will hold up against Akhmedov, and Omari is no slouch on the feet either. So I think I'll probably have to go with the Wolverine on this one.
Yeah, it will definitely be an interesting fight for sure. Yeah, it's a good fight. It's an interesting fight. They definitely made a good decision to kind of make that the feature prelim fight. Now, this is the first fight on the main card. Just looking at Douglas Silva de Andre, this guy looks like he's the kind of guy you wouldn't want to mess with at a barbecue. Definitely, this is kind of in my opinion, almost like a mismatch. You got a guy that's got 26 wins, 3 losses, which is Douglas. And then you got Lerone Murphy, who's got 10 fights, and a guy that's got like 29. This is like totally a good opportunity for Lerone, but this is definitely like almost like a bloodbath for De Silva. Yeah, this is definitely interesting fight for sure. I mean, it's at featherweight, and I don't know, man. This is I don't know. I feel like they kind of did Murphy dirty here. But however, I mean, if you look at Murphy's record though, 67% KO TKO. I mean, both these guys can put anybody's lights out. Let's just put it that way. They're both. This is probably definitely probably going to be a striking match for sure, unless if somebody decides they're going to start clinching and try to take it to the ground for some reason. If someone's starting to get too much heat, but definitely, I mean, looking at this fight, I think that Murphy's got everything to gain in this fight because if he loses, he's gonna say, "Whoa, what do I gotta lose? I just lost against a guy that's got 29 fights." Like, um, it'll be interesting to see. Of course, he's probably undefeated. With that being said, with a no contest. Whereas Douglas, I mean, there's a lot of pressure on him too. Nobody wants to lose to a guy that's got 10 fights on his record. So,
Mhm.
um, I can't really pick exactly who's going to win this fight. It can very well be a draw. I have that feeling in my bones. It could be a draw. If not a draw, though, I think Murphy actually might get this fight, but it'll be really interesting.
Mhm. So with this fight, I think it's at 145. Is that correct?
Yeah, featherweight. Yeah.
Okay, so I think this is going to be Down John's first fight at featherweight. He's been
Hmm.
at bantamweight for most of his career. He had a
Yeah.
great one against Marlon Vera, Cheetah Vera, and that fight he put on a clinic. He was very aggressive. He was landing some big shots on Vera, I believe.
Hmm.
He did really good in that fight. Then he lost to Peter Yan the next one, which he didn't even quit in that one. The I think he just had like a massive cut or something, a
Yeah.
doctor stoppage. Fighting a guy like Rao, I mean, he's a former shell of himself, but being a world champion like that says a lot about him. That
Hmm.
experience as well. He has around almost three times the experience that Leon Murphy has. So it's a young lion versus an old lion, and Douglas. I don't think he's even that old, but Douglas 19 TKOs. That's man, 20 out of 26 finishes.
Yeah.
That's very great. Leon Murphy has some slick boxing. It's kind of hard for me to pick this one, but especially one of my guys interviewed Murphy, so he's definitely a great fighter. But this is kind of like a rookie versus a veteran fight, so I think
Yeah.
I'll have to go with Andrade on this one.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't think we've actually agreed on anybody winning a fight yet. But yeah, no, and it'll be an interesting fight too. I think that's why they threw it on the main card. I mean, I don't think we got to trust the matchmakers when they're putting fights together. So the next one we got, I think, is at 125, so bantamweight. Um, or no, excuse me, flyweight. So you got Matt Schnell versus Tyson Nam. Definitely a lot of buzz coming from Tyson Nam. He got 20. The man's got 32 fights. A lot more experience. I think definitely. I think he's got lots of power, and he's been very
Mhm.
impressive so far. Matt Schnell, I've seen a couple of his fights, but Tyson Nam has been a lot more impressive in my opinion, and definitely got those power in those hands. Very fast. I mean, flyweights are fast in general, but he's definitely fast. I mean, that just goes to show his TKO, his KO TKO records at 60%. But definitely, this is probably going to be a fight where I could see Matt utilizing his wrestling. Um,
Mhm.
he's definitely probably going to try to slow Nam down. So it's just whether or not Tyson's going to how he's going to deal with that. Whether he's just going to take him out early, it'll be interesting. But I think Tyson Nam, if he can kind of weather that storm and avoid Matt trying to get a hold of him, because that's probably what he's going to do. I think definitely Tyson Nam's got this one. I just don't know if it's going to be early or if this is going to be a unanimous decision. But I think Tyson Nam's got this fight.
Yeah, so with this fight, I actually might throw some money on it because I'm very confident in Nam's power,
Yeah.
and especially with Snell's losses. His kryptonite is power punchers. We've seen it multiple times in his career. Rob Font, Hector Sandoval, in his first two UFC fights. Then he had a
Mhm.
pretty good four-fight win streak, and then he would go on to lose to Pantoja by knockout. So I love Matt Snell. He's a good friend of mine. Interviewed him before. So sorry, Matt, but Tyson Nam, man, like his power, ooh, man, you can't drop your hands for 1 second with a guy like Tyson. And I think Snell needs to get this one on the ground. But yeah, I just don't think Snell can really. I don't think he has too much in the stand up for Nam. So I think
Mhm.
Nam by knockout I might throw some money on this one.
Yeah, and this is a good fight as well. Um, yeah, definitely. I was gonna say something else about this fight, but I think I'm just gonna move on here. um, the next fight is I'm obviously looking forward to Roxanne. I love the Happy Warrior. I love everything about her. She's just something else. I like watching her fight. She's so happy in there.
Yeah,
She's ranked 8, whereas Vivian Ariojo is ranked 9. So there's not really much at stake in this fight other than you're moving down maybe 1. Um, Definitely Roxanne's got the experience. She's shown it in a lot of her fights. A lot of the fights that she's been in, she's shown her experience for sure. I think that's a big factor going this fight with Vivian. I mean, she's gonna have to. I mean, she's got a lot of submission. She's got quite the submission wins, but they're both. I think with this fight, Roxanne, I haven't really seen from what I remember. I haven't really seen her get a lot of finishes lately. It's been a lot
hmm
of them
she's
going to.
a she's more of a decision machine, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. But that being said, she like a lot of the fights she's been in, she's controlled, and that's going back to what I'm saying is, but the experience, her being a veteran. I mean, she's been around for a long time. She's fought for a long time. She's fun. I like watching her fight. She's fun at the weigh-ins. I like everything about her. She's kind of like got that whole geeky thing that like her own kind of thing that's going on that I like
Yeah,
what she does. But this is also an opportunity for Vivian as well. I think she knows that she's going against an experienced fighter. So, but then again, this is 3 rounds, so they're definitely gonna have to throw everything out of the gate. Roxanne, I mean, we all know she can go 5 rounds.
oh yeah,
She did
yeah,
that in that fight with um, the first flyweight champ that never defended it.
Nico Montano, yeah.
Nico, yes. So that'll be interesting as well. But I think Roxanne, I think this could be uh, round 3 decision. I think she's got this. The experience. I think she'll control every aspect in this fight. It'll be very dominant, in my opinion. Yeah, I think she's got this.
Yeah, so with this one, it's yeah, I love Roxy. I've interviewed her before. I love her personality. Um, she's beat some good names. She's known for being like derailing the hype between
Yeah,
Missy Barber and Shevchenko's sister Antonina, and even Andrea Lee in her last fight. I feel like I don't want to be a hater, but I feel like she's a little bit one-dimensional in a way. She's a very good jiu-jitsu player. She wants to fight on the ground. On the feet, she's I'm not gonna use the word obsolete, but she knows her way around the feet, but she's not very elite on the feet. But yeah, she needs to get the fight to the ground. But Vivi, like you said, very good jiu-jitsu practitioner as well. Um, I don't know. We've seen Roxy fade many times. Jennifer Maya especially, who was
yeah,
primarily a jiu-jitsu
yeah.
practitioner. So I think the UFC is trying to push Vivi to win this one. I feel like being Roxy's next step towards a UFC belt at some stage. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with Vivian on this one.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see what's going to happen. But I mean, it could be another surprise where they bring a young girl in, a younger girl or younger woman in, excuse me, and a younger fighter come in and try to kind of make a name off her. And I know Roxy's not going to want that, so
Yeah,
definitely think Roxanne's gonna, in my opinion, I think she's gonna use that experience and definitely slow the fight down. Definitely, and I would use the word slow the fight down. So I think Roxanne's got the decision on this fight. And then just moving on here. So you got another 2 guys I can't pronounce their names. I've been cursed ever since I started doing live streams here. So you got Ike Villanueva and Hurricane and Mamute Venice. Fuck, I can't say his name. Vinicius
Moreira
Moreira.
Castro. Yeah, I think
I really don't
I
know
believe so.
about these guys, other than I know they're heavyweights. Or
Yeah,
excuse me, are they heavyweights?
yeah. So I think with Castro, I believe he had some fights at light heavyweight because I think his last 3 losses, he's on a 3-fight losing streak against light heavyweights. So if you get knocked out by light heavyweights, then you move up to heavyweights, where heavyweights are known for one punch could end the fight. So,
Yeah.
and we've seen it from Ike many times. We've seen Ike get knocked out before, but he's a more natural heavyweight, and
Mm-hmm.
I believe one of his recent losses was to Chase Sherman. But I think I have Ike by knockout in this one. I just think he extends that losing streak of Castro's, and I predict maybe round 1, round 2, but also would not be surprised if Castro gets knockout because Ike doesn't have the best chin in the heavyweight division.
Let's just say that I predict someone's gonna get knocked the fuck out in this night. In this fight.
Yeah, I think that's a good prediction, honestly.
Yeah, when it comes to heavyweights, you just have to say someone's gonna get knocked out.
Yeah, unless Curtis Blaze is fighting, where just rides a 5-round decision.
Yeah, I know he. You know what? I talked about it on my podcast with another fighter, and I said I feel bad for people that give him shit for doing it, but I mean sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to win your
Yeah,
fight.
a win. I mean, a win's a win. So for him, I don't have anything against it personally. I like what he said before the fight because he predicted a 5-round decision, and he
Mhm.
predicted what he would do to Volkov. So I honestly didn't have a problem with it. Now, if he says that he's gonna put on an exciting fight, then does that, then I might be slightly annoyed, but I'm okay with his approach to fights.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he's good. But I mean, the problem is he's having problems with guys like Ngannou who take one shot at him. He went to fucking Pluto. Like I'm telling you, like he's got this thing where he can beat everybody, and then he fights Ngannou, and Ngannou gives him that one shot, and he's in the fucking shadow realm.
Yeah, and which is weird too because Ngannou's kryptonite is wrestlers.
Yeah, yeah.
Against Stipe, he looked like a lost animal. Like when you take him down, I feel like it's fairly easy. But with Chris Blades, I was very surprised the second time around because Blades was supposed to be his kryptonite, even though he beat him the first time. So very surprised with that. But against everybody against Ngannou, like besides Ngannou, he's managed to sweep the floor of a lot of heavyweights in the division.
I mean, granted that I mean the way what he did to Demolition Man, like I just like when
Oh
I
wow,
saw
yeah,
it,
that was a great performance. Just
I
elbow
just
after elbow, loved
I
it.
just never seen someone get hit like that with elbows on the ground. Like it's one thing when you get punched on the ground and your head's not going anywhere, but to get the elbows in and it's not like in your cheeks or you get in the jaw and you get knocked out. I mean, he wasn't getting knocked out; he was just getting hit hard on the fucking skull. I mean, like that's just insane. That's
Mm-hmm.
insanity.
Just bouncing his head like a basketball on the canvas is wow. I've honestly never seen anything like that.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so kind of getting off topic here, but so the co-main event, I can't believe it's a co-main event. No disrespect to these guys. I was kind of hoping that they were gonna make something else the co-main event.
Yeah, I
But
agree for sure.
it's a little
The names aren't that good. I believe the fight will be good, but I don't think it's co-main event material, especially
no.
for names. You have the Moroccan Devil. I believe this is maybe his second, third fight in the UFC. I could be wrong, but obviously, with Chimaev and Edwards, they were supposed to be in main event, so things have to change. But uh, I would have put, in my personal opinion, I would have put Matt Snell versus Tyson Nam on the co-main event for sure.
I agree. That's exactly what I was thinking. And looking at this fight, Warley Alves and the sniper Montier Lazzez. I mean, you got the guy from Brazil and the other guys from Italy or Tunisia, anyway. I mean, this fight's pretty much almost identical for the most part. I mean, with the reach a little bit, with the arm reach, kind of a little bit more of an advantage to Lazez, but I mean, everything else is pretty identical for the most part. Um, so it'll definitely, I think the sniper has definitely got a little bit more advantage. I mean, he's got more of a reach and he's a little bit taller. So Warley Alves is going to try to take him down the whole fight. But I mean, if you look at Laziz, I mean, he's got KO TKO record of 80%. I mean, he's got the reach, he's got the length. I mean, right there, and then with the power that he's got, I mean, you got to think like this could be more favored in his fight. I'm not counting out Alves, but looking at this fight, I mean, he's got more. On paper it looks like more of his advantage. It's just one of those things where you go in the fight though, and quite frankly, Alves doesn't have that much more experience on him. Um, so definitely, I mean, I think Lazaz is probably going to pick him off. I'm not sure first round, but maybe by second round, it's gonna be one of those fights where he's just going to keep picking him off, and I think Warley Alves is going to have a hard time getting in.
Mhm.
Um, Getting in the inside and trying to take him down. So if he doesn't, it's going to be a long night for Alves. And I could even see a third round TKO. I
Yeah.
don't know about KO, but I think TKO for sure. I do think the sniper is going to have this one. What's your thoughts?
Oh, so first off, I have to apologize. I thought Lazez was the Moroccan Devil. He's a bantamweight.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah, so for some reason I got the names confused, but I believe the Snipers got this one. I feel like he outpoints Alves. You know, Alves is a pretty good name. You know, when you beat the likes of Colby Covington, you know, there's obviously something special about you. But that was early in his career.
Yeah, yeah.
He's got
I
some
mean,
good
Colby.
submissions under his record, good submissions under his belt, and you know when you I think Lazez, I think he's just incredibly underrated. He was the underdog going into the Al Hassan fight, and he made pretty good work of him too. So I definitely think Lazez picks him apart like his nickname implies.
Yeah, yeah, I think he does, and I think he's gonna definitely be the sniper in the fight. And I think yeah, Alves is gonna have a hard time. I think personally, it's definitely gonna be maybe like a late second round or early third round TKO where they just stop the fight. You guys getting hit too much,
Hmm.
uh, and that's gonna be that. So yeah, and then here we go, the main event. I did really want to cover UFC 257, but I might have to do that by myself or later this week because I definitely want to cover it. But definitely going into this fight. So you got the Maverick, Michael Chiesa. I don't think we need to introduce these guys. We all know who they are. Maverick, Michael Chiesa, and the Haitian sensation Neil Magny. This is another fight where I mean, if Neil Magny wins, he's not moving down that much. I mean, definitely. I mean, he's still going down one spot, but he's not really going down that much. And then Michael Chiesa, even if he loses this fight, he's not going up that much. But that being said, no one definitely doesn't want to go back up. That's for sure. This is going to be an interesting fight because so you got Neil Magny. I mean, he's got an insane reach for
Hmm.
welterweight. I mean, 80 reach is just insane.
It's like the
Uh,
John Jones of the welterweight division as
pretty,
far as reach goes.
yeah, pretty much. And I mean, he's 6'3". He's 6'3", 45-inch reach for leg. I mean, reach of 80. Just insane. That's it's and I thought Michael Chiesa was a long guy, which he is as well. I mean, 75.5 inches of reach. That's still pretty damn good. And he's known to be, a much taller guy. Definitely when he was at lightweight, he was definitely noticeably long. Um,
Mhm.
but I mean, if everybody knows who Michael Chiesa is, we all know his submissions is that's where he's gonna want you for sure. And I don't want to I don't really want to put Neil Magny down, but I'm just gonna I'm just gonna let the cat out of the bag here. Everybody knows it. I mean, he's mainly bringing off. He's coming off a lot of decisions.
Yeah.
I know that people are gonna call him like pull a hands Magny. But definitely, like he doesn't seem to have a lot of that knockout power that I think that Chiesa is really scared of. So I'm sure Chiesa's probably just could do whatever in his power to get in and get a hold of Neil Magny. Um, but I think Neil Magny, I mean, he's been thrown on the ground and it just looks like he doesn't know what to do,
Yeah.
which is kind of definitely a plus for Michael Chiesa. And I think that's why he was a favorite in this fight. I mean, that being said, he is ranked lower. But I think Chiesa's definitely got a lot more to advantage in this fight. No, Neil Magny, I mean, he looked pretty good in his last fight. I think he fought Robbie Lawler.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. And
I think it was Magny's last fight was okay. So he fought Lee, who beat Santiago last. Then he beats wait. See, I know his last 3 wins, but I don't know which order they came in. I think Robbie Lawler was last, right?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. And Robbie did not look like he was in that fight whatsoever. I was very disappointed.
Yeah.
Um,
It's so unfortunate for Robbie too. It's like one day he's a ruthless killer, against Roy McDonald, Carlos Condit. Then one day he gets knocked out, and he just doesn't look the same anymore.
100%. And yeah, this is a really interesting fight. But I think Neil Magny, unless if he starts to do something with his game, I think that Michael Chiesa, I mean, he's got 5 rounds to do something, and Michael Chiesa can probably go 5 rounds. And Michael Chiesa, he knows what to do to tire you out. And I think like Neil Magny can also fight 5 rounds, probably no problem. But Michael Chiesa, I can kind of see what he's going to do is kind of do what he did with Diego Sanchez. He's got to maybe not so much tire his arms out, but he's definitely going to tire Magny out and try to get his back and maybe just play with him, kind of try to seem like he's going to choke him out, but he's not. Kind of what he did with Sanchez, and I definitely think that he's probably going to get the win. I don't know if he's going to get the submission, but I think he's going to come out victorious either way. The thing with Neil Magny is I just don't find him that much of a threat on the feet, to be honest with you, unless if he just overwhelms Chiesa and Chiesa gets tired or something like that. But I don't see this fight going to Magny. What's your predictions for this fight? What's your picks?
So with Chiesa, he had a really good performance against a former champion like RDA, and
Yeah,
RDA is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and to hold RDA down like he did, is just insane. Especially when I have RDA, I predicted RDA to win that one, and Chiesa proved me wrong, and he looked really good on the ground. And with Magny, it's like I don't think he shows much promise on the ground. RDA submitted. I'm not using MMA math here, by the way, but RDA submitted Magny in like the first round, so like a nasty arm triangle. I feel like I'm not gonna say it's relatively easy, but it's not much of a task to get that fight to the ground for Chiesa, especially with his wrestling pedigree. And so I feel like Chiesa should be able to submit him, but we haven't seen either guy go 5 rounds, I don't think.
No.
So he could put on like a jiu-jitsu clinic for 5 rounds. Maybe he doesn't get the finish, but I feel like there's more of a blueprint to beat Magny. If you go to Santiago's fight, Santiago kept on repeating the leg kick, and that was getting to Magny a lot. So I feel like if Magny, if Chiesa throws leg kicks, he closes the distance, gets him on the ground, I feel like his pressure will be too much for Magny.
Yeah, and I think that's what he needs to do to close the distance too. So if he does that, he closes the distance. I got Chiesa win this fight, and I still think Chiesa is going to win this fight. I can't predict if it's going to get a submission. If I was that sure, I'd say submission or TK or whatever, but definitely going to win the fight. I got Chiesa.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I got it. I'm glad to see it. I'm not the most excited about the card. No offense to fighters going on the card. I'm excited to see the fighters I have my podcast go on the fight, because now I get to see them fight in the UFC. It's been a pleasure having them on, and now it's like now they're gonna fight. But it's still cool to kind of have it at 12 o'clock, at least my time, during the week. Kind of weird. I mean, that's like basically what 11 o'clock.
Also, wait, does the prelim start at 12 p.m. Eastern?
I think so. If not 12, then early, because they might have early prelim. So shit, I better get on that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wake up and I gotta wake up early for that one. I don't like waking up early, but yeah, for this one I'll have to.
Yeah, definitely. Other than that, I'll probably watch a little bit. I know I actually got Zach Otto coming on the podcast.
Awesome.
12 that day. Actually, no. Yeah, 12. So actually, shit. Yeah, I better. Or no, 4 o'clock that day. So
Gotcha.
Hopefully I'll get to watch most of the card and then get him on there, and hopefully it'll be a good one. But Chris, I just want to appreciate you coming on, joining in with the predictions. Keep doing what you're doing with your Instagram account. Is there anywhere else we can find you?
Oh yeah, so you can find mmaisland on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. I do have to say that we don't have use Facebook that much, but Twitter we post, breaking news, updates, YouTube interviews, other shows. So definitely follow us on there. Thanks again, Luke. I appreciate your time, and thanks for having me on as a guest. It's my honor.
Oh, no problem, Chris. And you take care, and I'm sure maybe we'll do another card again sometime, man.
Yeah, just hit me up, and I'll be available anytime you need me. Thanks.
Perfect, man. Thanks. Well, guys, I hope you guys I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you guys enjoyed our picks for UFC Fight Island 8, Chiesa versus Magny. Please tune in. It'll be on Wednesday. Don't count me on this, but I think it starts 12 p.m. Eastern Savings Time. Now, I don't know if that's an early prelim, so don't take it on me. Don't go back and be like, hey, Luke from Empire Universe, what the fuck are you talking about? So if you guys enjoy this, please leave a like, subscribe, please. It really does help. More subscribers is the better. I'll keep trying to post as much content as I can on YouTube. I know I apologize. I don't post as much as I used to, but I will continue to stay consistent. Thank you guys again for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And thank you for the support as always. And I'll see you guys soon, okay? You guys have a great afternoon, and you guys take care, okay? Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep washing those hands and social distance. Keep doing your tool, and we'll all get through this pandemic together. Okay, guys. I'll take care. See ya.